Thank you very much, Amber. And now it's time for a Project Economy Report. We do it every Friday with the University of Hawaii's Economic Research Organization. It's the UHERO Report. And joining us this morning is economics professor Sumner LaCroix. Sumner, thanks for being here.
Morning, Dan.
Really appreciate it. Lots to talk about, but today we want to focus on tourism. And you know, the Japanese tourists, they used to be the biggest money bringer into the state in the 80s and the 90s.
That's right.
Not anymore. Where have the Japanese tourists gone?
Well, there are 2.05 million tourists in 1995, and that's down to 1.12 million. I mean, it's fallen by almost half.
Wow.
And that's really an amazing development in just 14 years. If we look at the bookings on Japan Airlines for next week's Golden Week, they're down. If we look at that route from Narita Airport to the Big Island, they're talking about eliminating it because of lack of traffic. That said, Japanese tourism is actually up just a teeny bit this year. But the long-term trend has been really bad for the last 14 years, and there's really nothing in sight that's going to make it any better.
Why is this happening?
Well, there's two main reasons why it's happening. One is there's a long-term decline in the Japanese economy. The 1990s were really terrible. The beginning of this decade was a little bit better for them, and then all of a sudden, the last few years, they had a worse recession than we did. The decline in the Japanese economy was much sharper than the decline in the U.S. economy. That hasn't helped at all. But here's the main reason.
All right.
The main reason is because there are so few young Japanese today. The Japanese birth rate collapsed a long time ago, way back in the 70s and 80s. And with the collapse of the Japanese birth rate, only about 1.3, 1.4 children per couple. There aren't many young Japanese. And the secret to Japanese tourism in Hawaii has been that it's the young who travel to Hawaii. Now there's not many young Japanese, so it's not surprising that travel has declined.
You may have answered this next question. So is there any hope for revival? I mean,
You know, the marketing person in me says there's always hope. There's always people there who can travel.
How about the
realist in me says that we're going to see these long-term trends continue.
All right, so, you know, Asia's a big place. Japan's not the only place there. We've got China. There's plenty of young people there. You've got Korea. Should we prepare ourselves for waves of Chinese and Korean tourists?
Absolutely. And there's really strong reasons to believe that we're going to see more Korean tourists. One reason there is that we have a visa waiver program. And tourism from Korea was very strong back in the 1990s. And then after 2001, we put very strict visa requirements on Koreans coming here. Those are now gone. You can basically get on a plane without a visa and come to Hawaii. I think that's going to lead to a dramatic increase in the number of Koreans coming here. Again, it's from a relatively low base, but I think we're going to end up with numbers up in 300,000-400,000 within a few years.
In a few years, and then
just within a few
what
years.
What about beyond?
Well, beyond that too, we also have the Chinese. Okay, and the Chinese income is growing dramatically. We have income in China doubling every 7 years, quadrupling every 14 years if current growth rates continue. And we're going to see a lot more Chinese tourists come. That's an area where marketing can really make a difference. I think the state has done a pretty good job in making sure that our lines are out to China. There's a state tourism office in Beijing. We have direct Beijing to Honolulu flights opening up, I think, in June. But that's supposed to start shortly. Once those flights open up, there'll be a lot more word of mouth. We could really see a massive boom in tourists from China.
That would be great. And we always like to end on a high note, so why don't we end it there? Professor Sumner LaCroix, thank you so much.